and is a journalist at Prensa Latina. Martin, thank you for joining us again.
You're welcome, Cathy.
Martin, we were talking about the destabilization attempts, the attacks by the US on Nicaragua. Nicaragua has been subject to sanctions like other countries in the region. What can you tell us about the effects on the Nicaraguan population?
Well, the current population of Nicaragua faced in 2018 a coup attempt that turned very violent. Even one young Nicaraguan sympathizer was burnt alive. But the government managed to overcome that. The country has overcome that. And the population, the people, what they decided to do is to move on with the economic and social programs that have been implemented. The economy has been growing. People kept working. For instance, despite the pandemic, the unemployment level have been catching up pre-pandemic levels, not like 2017, but the labor market has been moving up steadily for the past 6 months. And the Nicaraguan people has been responding to all this. If you see when Nicaragua celebrated the National Day, it was much enthusiasm on the streets. And the people realized that violence and rioting were not the way to serve and help the country. That's why people did not join, or most of the people in Nicaragua did not join that violent coup. And the government kept working, serving the nation, and the people has been working and responding and moving on, taking opportunities and taking advantage of the economic programs. For instance, one of the programs that has been carrying out is electrical subsidy. So for poor families. So every poor family in Nicaragua enjoy 150 kilobytes hour free. That is subsidized by the Nicaraguan government. And like that, there are many other social projects, like healthcare, like providing credits for poor families to start micro businesses or family businesses. And the people is wise. People knows who is working for them, who is serving the nation. And people realize, okay, who should I vote for and which party should I vote for? That's why the Sandinista Front and Daniel Ortega with Vice President Rosario Murillo, won the last 3 elections, and for me, is going to win big today.
Martin, the Sandinista Front enjoys a majority in Parliament. Of course, today Nicaraguans are also voting for members of the National Assembly, the Parliament of Nicaragua. They have about, I think, 70 of the 90 seats currently. Could we see maybe some change with more opposition, or is that likely to remain much the same due to the support for the Sandinista Front?
Well, we should have said, or I should have mentioned this before to put viewers in the context. The Nicaraguans are not only voting for president and vice president, they are electing 92 lawmakers for the National Assembly, which is a one-chamber legislative house. And for a party to enjoy absolute majority should have 47 seats. I believe the Sandinista Front might not win all the seats it had in the last elections, but it will, in my view, my estimate is that it will have much more than 47 seats to have absolute majority. This is my estimate.
And Martin, should the Sandinista Front secure that parliamentary majority, we can expect that then, in that case, it will be able to continue its government program of social and economic progress for the majority of Nicaraguans.
Of course. And besides that, the opposition will not go against it, because the opposition, there are many entrepreneurs, business executives within the opposition, they have been taking advantage of all the economic progress Nicaragua has been enjoying in the past years. So, as a political opposition, they will oppose the government, of course, but they will not go against the economic programs the government will be putting on the table. And there might be discussions, debates, that I believe social projects, economic projects, political projects, foreign policy will move on. Of course, the government and the Sandinista Party will participate in every debate. It has respected the political debates within the National Assembly, and I believe that will go on.
Martin, as you say, we're talking about a democracy here. We're talking about a parliamentary presidential system and a parliament which has representation of opposition, which goes against some of the ideas that are put forward in the Western mainstream media and by the United States, that there isn't a democracy in Nicaragua and that there isn't an opposition. As we've noted, there are several opposition parties already represented in the parliament and participating in this Sunday's elections. What can you tell us about those opposition parties and maybe some of the government programs that they are trying to promote through this election?
Well, if you allow me, I will read the name of all political parties in the opposition in Nicaragua. One is the Constitutional Liberal Party. Another one is the Nicaraguan Christian Path, the Nicaraguan Liberal Alliance, the Alliance for the Republic, and the Independent Liberal Party. These are the 5 opposition parties which are contending these elections, and they will have their legislative representation in the National Assembly. Whether they will go against any of the programs of policy that the Sandinista administration introduces in Parliament, they have the right to do it. They will have a voice. They will have a vote in the National Assembly. The Sandinista Front deputy lawmakers will have also their voice and their vote, and there will be a final vote night, and there will be a debate. And whoever the majority vote for, that will be respected in the National Assembly. That's democracy in Nicaragua, just as it is in many countries in the world. In the United States, there are only 2 parties in the country. They call it the aisle parties. So both aisles of Congress. They say both because there are only 2 parties in the U.S. Congress. In Nicaragua, there are going to be, most probably, there will be, if not 6 parties, there will be 4 parties or maybe 5 parties after these elections in the National Assembly. So, in democracy, the U.S. call itself democracy. Okay, Nicaragua is democracy with 6 parties contending today.
Martin, a very important point that you make there about the different systems and different forms of democracy, and that Nicaragua does have a democratic system despite the attacks of the United States. Martin, thank you for joining us. I'm hoping that maybe we'll be able to speak to you again slightly later, but we're now going to move on with some more news. So thank you once again.
No, it's my pleasure and it's an honor to share this time with you.
Okay, so now we're going to look at how Nicaragua has dealt with the COVID-19